Hello, this is Gwen. Today is Saturday, September the 30th, 2017, and it's about 3:38 p.m. My name is Gwen. This is going to be about getting your hustle on, and it's another money-making idea. It's about this idea is about bumper repair. All around the neighborhood and all around the city, there are people with scrapes and scratches and small dents on their bumper, right? On their car bumper. And most of the cars are using rubber bumpers now. These are just rubber bumpers, and they're just soft bumper, and they're really called a bumper cover because the bumper is the hard thing under it, but they cover it with this rubber plastic molded thing that we refer to as a bumper, but it's actually the bumper cover. Now, if you ever look on YouTube and you see where people are using hot water to mold their bumper into shape, those are true. I had got some hail damage on my bumper, and I was talking to the guy who was doing it. He was the collision center repair people because they were doing hail damage for my car, and he talked about because I said, "Wow, you could almost just mold this out, just sitting it in the sun, and you could see how you can mold that out." Because I was talking about it, and he says, "Yeah, sometimes when we." Sometimes we set our bumper in the sun and watch it mold back into shape. And so we both agreed that there's a heat correlation to it. And when I thought about it, I said, wow, that's how they make those. They pour them, they pour them out in the mold, and they're melted bumpers, and they pour the liquid in the mold, and then they have that unique shape that they're going. A mold is a pattern that's poured and then it solidifies. Like the easiest example of a mold is an ice cube tray. You pour your liquid in there, right? Your ice, your water, and then you put it in the freezer. It freezes, and it freezes into the squares or ovals or whatever the shape of the ice cube tray is. And then you pop it out. Okay, that's what a mold is, except in this case it's with bumpers. Most things that are made out of plastic and soft materials are made like that with the mold, as well as metals like shaped bells and jewelry and things like that. They're poured into a mold and then they're pulled out and then cleaned up. That is sanded and shaped and getting all of the residue off. The things that they clean off using an ice cube tray again, like you pour your water in there, you got water above the mold, and you click out your ice, and you see where the additional frozen water is that's beyond the little square, those little that little extra. Okay, that's what they would clean off if it was metal, that little extra. And most things that are shaped are like that, even like concrete shapes and things like that. Okay, so bumpers are made that way too, rubber bumpers, not the old school hard bumpers that are made with the chrome. That's a different method. But the ones that we use now, they're made like that, and it's actually the cover over the bumper, not the bumper. When you go to a normal auto repair shop, they and you got a dent on your bumper and you might have additional dents, they would take this bumper off, and it's labor intensive sometimes to um, um, shape it, because they'll be shaping it the old way with the Bondo and other stuff. But nowadays on YouTube, you can see where they use hot water to, not the mechanics, but regular people in their yard using hot water to shape your bumper back. Regular mechanics want to do labor and stuff that bump up the price. So they might have that bumper replaced and then paint it again. Now, here's where we come with the hustle, get your hustle on. Because you don't have to do that, but it's a money making opportunity here because it's a niche I'm getting ready to describe, and it's just exclusively bumper repair. Since we do have proof that you can mold and shape your bumper with additional heat for a bumper dent, then there's a job or a money making opportunity for somebody who wants to get a hustle on. I'm not sure about whether you need credentials to do body work on a car, but I do know that you can do it with little or no effort. All you need is a heat resistant hot water hose, some sort of flat surface like a patio table or a outdoor table, which you can get at Lowe's, 8 foot table for about $80 at Lowe's or Home Depot, but Lowe's, I like Lowe's. You can pay $80. I got one right here. It's a plastic table, plastic top, some kind of, I forget what the name of this stuff is, but it's a plastic top table, and it's an industrial strength. And I've had it so far about 6 or 7 years. Well, at least about, yeah, about 6 years, a bunch of years, about 6 years. And they got them in 4 foot size, 6 foot size, and 8 foot size. And this table, I'm not sure if it's heat resistant, but I have spilled a lot of coffee on it and it didn't damage it. But even if it wasn't, you can also always put a plate of wood on top of it. But it is water resistant. So a heat resistant hose, a water and heat resistant type table, hot water, and whatever factory paint you need for to paint the scratches that are less than an inch big, skill, and whatever credentials you needed if you're going to make a permanent business. Now, about the hot water, excuse me, the hot water can be one of those either in-house hot water heaters like you have in your home, and you just hook it up to your water source, yeah, and it'll drain. Or you can use one of those heat as you go water heaters, which is about $250. And it's basically a freestanding water heater that's tankless. It's got coils in it that heating coils that heat the water as you spray it out, and a heat resistant water hose, because you're going to be heating it to about 100 degrees, 180 degrees or so, because it's going to be hot water and boiling water, or almost boiling water. I think boiling water starts boiling at 220, but you want it to be at a very hot. All you need is hotter than the room temperature, but you want hot water because you're going to mold these bumpers back in place. So you can either be portable, where you go to the person, or they can come to you at your garage or your house or whatever, because these are little or no tools. Because you got your hot water, you got the table, you got the little factory paint sample. And what happens is that the person comes to you and say, I have this tiny dent on my bumper or this medium dent on my bumper. You look at the bumper, you see it's got the dent and you see a few scrapes, right? And you see that it's need a sample of the factory paint. So all you have to do is go to the dealership or order from the dealership the factory paint that's needed to match that paint color, right? And since you're only going to be working with solid bumpers rather than ripped bumpers, because with a ripped bumper you really do need to get it repaired, I mean get it replaced, but with a dented bumper you don't. And so you're going to pull the bumper off and set it on the table, put the hot water on it. If you want to, you can either A, spray the hot water on it and then stop spraying and then mold it into shape, or B, use heat resistant gloves, which are those big rubber gloves, which are not expensive, and then just mold it while you spray it. You can do it right there on the spot. And when I look at these videos, some of them are doing it with the bumpers not even removed, and they're still getting the dents out. So get your hustle on. That's a quick way to make money. And you can, like you and your partner, whoever's working with you, can run the specs through the computer and see how much it would cost if they got it repaired at a normal dealership or a normal auto body repair place versus what you're gonna pay. Because what they're gonna pay you, which is gonna be a few $100s, is because it's gonna be something that's can be done right on the spot, and unless they actually do need paint, in which case you have to order it or just go out there to the paint salespeople who have that color, which is a touch-up paint. That's all you're going to do is get a little can or a jar touch-up paint and just touch it up and then sand it down and smooth it out, and you got that. And so that's why I say skill, because you need to have skill to do that. But if you mow those bumpers into place on the spot, they pay you cash, or or a credit card or whatever. That's a little money. That's a money that's coming to you. Every auto body repair place is full of cars, right? You can see, you pass by auto body repair place and you see cars out the yin yang in their lot because people are waiting in line to get the dents replaced, the dings replaced, and stuff. And don't let me start on dings, like those little side dings. Nowadays, they just do these they come to you to fix a ding. And all they do is stick the little thing down the window thing and push it out. You know how the window comes out in that little groove? They stick their little instrument down there, which is a long skinny thing, and then they rub it out and it pops out. The guy told me he would, because I had a ding in my car, and he said he'll come out for about $50 and do that. And he goes around all day doing that. Okay? Same thing with the bumper repair. So if you got somebody with some skill, and it can be even and certificates or credentials if needed. And I think you do need to have some kind of credential to take somebody's bumper off of their car, or bumper cover off, because they need to feel comfortable with letting you do that. um, but an auto body student can do it, I suspect, or even an unemployed auto body worker can do it, and that's all you need. And it should be exclusively bumper repair, and it should be minor untow up bumpers, but bumpers that do have a dent but no rips. If paint is needed, then it's got to be small, less than a quarter size pieces of paint, because anything bigger would really need some special stuff. But just a little bitty, those little hair scratches and things like that, minor pieces of paint, you okay. So get your hustle on. That's all you need of those things. A water resistant, I mean heat resistant water hose, about $25. That hot water tank I looked at was about $250. Factory paint can vary, and the most is about $15. Your skill and certificate will be priceless, and your table that can handle this stuff is about $80 for an 8 foot table, and about $70 for a 6 foot table, and about $45 for a 4 foot table. I would opt for the 8 foot table, and if you wanted to, you can put a piece of wood to protect the table on top of it, because wood's pretty heat resistant. It's not water resistant, but it is heat resistant. Or even Formica or something like that, just something cheap that's heat resistant and will stay in shape. And you can use scrap something or another with that. It'll be up to you. You creative, figure it out. It's a lot of options there, and that's why I'm not being specific, is there's so many options. And you can do that stuff on the spot while the person is looking at you, and have them on their way within a few hours or an hour or two, depending on how extensive it is, and just mold these bumpers back into shape with hot water. Get your hustle on. Go for it. Okay, that's all I have to say on this one. Money's money. Go make some money. All right, bye bye.